So, what do you think about Tariq Fateh?
Um, Actually, I don't listen much to him. I only know him from you, and then I know that he is saying the truth.
You have
What
heard
he
him
feels
ever or
about.
not? I have shared so many
Yeah.
things. So, you have heard
I
him.
don't heard. I don't hear all Swami.
What?
I don't hear all.
All means what? You have heard anything or not?
I don't remember. I may have heard, but I don't remember.
Then how you commented anything? You're very dishonest.
I only remember him from what you said.
What I said.
Like he will sometimes say something against Islam, Swami. But exactly what he said, that one I forgot lah.
Then why you commented if you don't know him?
What did I comment, Swami? Which comment do you mean?
You commented when I shared that Tariq Fateh is dead. Then you said something.
I said that one less person to speak against Islam, because I know he has been always like speaking against Islam.
No, he is not speaking against Islam. So you are again dishonest. He speaks against Muslims, not against Islam. He says his famous line is that there is two kinds of Islam. One is of Allah's Islam and the other is Mullah's Islam. Allah's Islam is the pure Islam and the Mullah's Islam is the corrupted version of it. But if you read Quran, even Allah's Islam is very fanatical, very violent and cruel. In Islam, there is no scope for coexistence. Only Muslims have right to exist. All others are worse than animals. They have no right to exist. They are worse than shit. They are worse than dogs. They are worse than insect. They can exist only if they convert to Islam, because all other religions are false. This is the narrowness and sickness of Abrahamic religion. They don't know how to coexist. They cannot accept others. They can't even tolerate others. Maybe Christians are now tolerating, but in their scriptures also the same things are written. So Tariq Fateh used to say that he was against ex-Muslims, those who have left Islam. I don't know whether it was all whatever he was saying, he meant it, or he was more clever and he used to say that those who have left Islam, they are like those who have stopped participating in the match of football. So if you remain in the field, only then you can goal. Only then you can hit the goal post with the ball. Otherwise, if you have left, you are just an escapist. So he believed in reforming wrong things which has entered into Islam. So he said that from the very beginning they started corrupting Islam, because the first surah of Quran, its first verse is Ikra, that means read. But it looks so ridiculous that the Gabriel, when he came to see Muhammad, he said, read. He came to give the message to Muhammad. But Muhammad was totally uneducated, so what it meant, read, how can he read? So it looks so ridiculous. He was uneducated, so how he will read? So, but they say Muslims are so clever. They are very good at playing with words. They will say that in the first surah is Ikra, read. So Islam is all for knowledge. It is written that even if you have to go to China to acquire knowledge, you should go. So how can Islam be against education? How can Islam prohibit education from reaching to girls? But this is all if the Gabriel came and he said to Muhammad, read. He was not, even if he said read, he was meaning the message of Allah. He was not talking about the knowledge that you have to go, even if you have to go to China or go anywhere, you have to, for knowledge you should go anywhere. He was talking about Allah's message. Read that message. So they are confusing it. They are just mixing things just to suit whatever they want you to believe in. That's why there is one great formula in Islam, al-taqiyya. That means even if you have to lie to spread Islam, you have all the right. When you are less in number, then befriend your enemies, make them friend. But once your number has increased, then you can kill them if they are not ready to convert. So there is only three things. You have been given only three conditions. Either accept Islam or give them donation, tutelage, or be ready to be killed. Sword is the third law. There is no other options. So even Allah's Islam is very violent. But maybe he was a gentleman and he wanted Muslims to be less violent. So he was trying to remove those parts of Islam which was very violent. He was saying that maybe those things were said at that time, but now it has changed, the time has changed, so we should change according to time. So those parts of Quran which is violent should be dropped. But they will not, the Muslims will not accept it at all. They say that you cannot even change one comma full stop from Quran. But the reality is that Quran has so many versions, and it was not written immediately. It was written hundreds of years, 200-300 years after Muhammad left. And there is no proof whether Muhammad ever existed or not. There is no proof at all. But he was trying to make Muslims more civilized, more cultured, more educated. So he was a man of heart, and he was a very courageous man. And he said that there is only one real, if you have understood the first thing of Islam, that is Tawheed, that is enough. After that, things have been corrupted. Tawheed means that God is one and He is unique. He has not been created by anyone, and He cannot beget any children. So God has no children. And Allah is the only God. There is no other God other than Him. So if you are worshipping any other God, you are committing sin. It is shirk. You cannot compare Allah with anyone else. But even if you see this Tawheed, that is making Muslims so egoistic. They think Allah is the only God. You cannot compare Him with anyone else. So all other, those who are trying to reach to truth in other ways, they will never accept. Only Allah is the only truth, and you have to just believe in it. There is no scope of enlightenment, knowing truth in Islam. But there is one person, his name is Tufail Chaturvedi. He was a friend of, he is still alive, he was a friend of Tarek Fatah. So he said that whatever is written, Tufail Chaturvedi said that it is the Muslims are not bad. It is whatever is written in Quran that is making them fanatic. So Tariq Fateh said that I know all those things. Muslims are the first victim of Islam. You are the second victim. First they are the victim. They are suffering this religious book. But it has to be reformed from within it. If you start condemning it directly, they will never accept you. Then there will be more violence. So you have to cajole them, you have to give them toffee, you have to first. But still, it makes no difference. Most of the Muslims, they are very much against Tariq Fateh, and they are celebrating most of those people, those who have any, those who are regarded as good Muslims. They are very much celebrating. They say that he will go to hell if he had not asked for forgiveness from Allah. He is going to hell. He will suffer there. He will be fried there. And in Abrahamic religion, hell is for eternity. You cannot come out. So that is, they are enjoying his death. And there is one person who is ex-Muslim. I was hearing his video yesterday. He is quite very egoistic. He is ex-Muslim, but he is still radical ex-Muslim, very fanatic. He may have come out of that cloth of Islam, but all the poison is still inside him. So he said that once I had an opportunity to talk with Tarek Fatah in some, I don't remember, Twitter or whatever. So he said that there he accepted that he is an atheist. But I don't know whether he was lying or not. But he was saying that his method is flawed. He is saying that it is not Islam that is wrong, but the Muslims are wrong. But I will say both are wrong. If you are believing in something which is, if you are not greedy and if you are not fearful, you can see very clearly it is all bogus, it is all lies. It is all just for children, very imaginary. But because of your greed and fear, you cannot see the obvious thing. Islam is also a lie, and Muslims are believing in it because they are blind, because they are full of greed and full of fear. If fear is removed from Islam, then no one will remain in Islam. If greed is removed, that's why they have to be provided with 72 hools and so many stupid things. But he was a courageous man. He said that Islam says that whatever may be the consequence, you should always speak truth. So he had the courage to speak truth. That was his quality. And he was a lover of Islam. He was a lover of India. He always, even in his book, it is written that I am an Indian born in Pakistan. So he was very clear that Pakistan is not a country, because they have no identity. They believe they have Arab culture, which is a lie. Their DNA is of Hindus. So their culture, everything is Indian. As long as they go on denying it, they have no ground to stand on. And he wanted Pakistan to dissolve because it is bound by artificial ways. So it should dissolve. And he had a great sense of humor also, not a serious man. Sincere but not serious. He was sensitive. He had good information. He was quite knowledgeable, but he was not burdened with knowledge. He was quite light-hearted, sensitive man. If you listen to his interview, it is quite interesting. But later on, he became little predictable. He will always be saying the same kind of things. But one thing is that he remained alive till his very end, and he remained sensitive till his very end. Even in his words, he was quite fresh. But when he was towards the end, I think he was getting little bit weak, so maybe there was some repetitiveness, but I don't feel it was very repetitive. It was always good to listen to him. About 2 months he remained in hospital, otherwise he was always very available and active. He never married to any other woman. I feel that he had only one daughter, Natasha. I think her name is Natasha. So quite non-Islamic in that way. Satisfied with one woman, and he used to say that we were Hindus just 200 years back. I was a Rajput. We were forcefully converted. So that's all. Let me first finish. What is his name? Tarek Fatah. Few things which I left on that day. He was an intellectual. He was also an intelligent man. But even if you are an intelligent man or you are an intellectual, still you are a slave to your mind if you are not a conscious man. He was born in Islam, so Islam became his boundary line, his trap, his chains. He must have read few of Indian scriptures like Gita, Upanishad. Must have read something about Buddhism also, and maybe other scriptures of Jainism and Sikhism. But it remained all intellectual. He had not that courage to go in, because it is a shortcut when you have scriptures available. You can read and it's like to solve a mathematics, you can just see the answer which is on the back of the page. So then we think we are very smart. What is the need to go through any austerity, any sadhana, any discipline, if just by reading books? So most of the people, they think they are very wise, those who are just confined to books. If you listen to even Achar Prashant, who is Achar Parishan, he is always also saying that these gurus of modern days, they will say there is no need to read scriptures, we are enough. But the reality is that all those who have become enlightened, they were the scriptures. Whatever they said became scriptures. Because your bondage is of your body, thinking and emotion. These are your prison. until and unless you know everything about these things, until and unless you observe your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, and you get disidentified. As long as you are limited by your body, mind and emotions, as long as you are in that circle, you cannot be free. You may go on reading all these scriptures, but it is just like you are just reading books on how to make food, recipe. You have never met the food. There can be technique, you can go directly into meditation, you can know yourself directly, or you can use some technique. If you have more garbage, more conditioning, more program, then you need techniques. But you need to observe your mind, your body and your emotions and thoughts. Only then you can go beyond it. If these people are reading Upanishad or Gita, they are all for your own experience. They have never said that you have to believe in these masters. They have all said, Appa Deepo Bhava, be your own light. In Upanishad there is it is called 4 Mahavak, that means 4 great sentences. And they are all one is Aham Brahmasmi. That means I am the ultimate truth. Those who went inside, only they can find that they are ultimate truth or not. There is no difference in microcosm and macrocosm. What is within you is in the universe. So they could declare when they came to know themselves, Aham Brahmasmi. You can say that also means I am God, but not as one who has created the world. You are part of the godliness. Then the second Mahavak is Tat Tvamasi Shvet Ketu. So the master is saying to Shvet Ketu that you are that ultimate truth. So you find it out. Now the whole experiment begins. You cannot just believe and your journey ends. Now the journey begins. Then there is Ayam Atma Brahm. That means this very Atma is Brahm. Your very Atma, your self is the ultimate self. Is Brahm. Brahm means that which is infinite, that which is absolute, that which is without any boundary. You are that. Your very self. There is no difference in both. And the fourth is Pragyanam Brahma. This consciousness is Brahma, is the ultimate truth. What the great sage of Bengal said, Saber upar manus sat, taher upar nahi. That means above all is the truth of man. Beyond that there is nothing. So these things you can know only when you go in, when you are in contact with your consciousness or you become consciousness. So even though he was very intelligent man, he was an intellectual also, but he could never go inside. He was the right person to go in because he was really intelligent. You can be intellectual without being an intelligent person. Because being an intellectual is a kind of burden. You are burdened with knowledge. But he could not gather that much courage to go in. Because then you have to withdraw yourself from the world. I feel he was very emotional man. So when you are very emotional, that becomes your trap. You are very infatuated. You cling to all your friends and your relatives, your wife, husband, your children. And when you are so much infatuated to them, you cannot be alone. You don't have that much knack, the real intelligence to, when it is needed, you can just be alone. And when you are relating, you relate totally. So he missed the boat. Maybe one cannot say exactly, because I was not present when he was dying, so I cannot say. Though he was looking more graceful in his hospital, when he was in hospital, and he was always in contact with those people who were very close to him. He was never grumpy, and he had cancer for many years, but he didn't allow his cancer to become depressed, to withdraw himself from life, or to become gloomy or complaining. Maybe he was very close to knowing himself, though he didn't try any technique. But maybe the subtle ego was there, which didn't allow him to go to any master. Because I feel Islam becomes a great chain to all those people who are born in Islam. Because they are saying that you have direct connection with Allah. You need not go to anyone. That creates a great ego. You want to ask anything about it? You are looking so serious. Why?
I'm listening, sorry.
You consider yourself like Tarek Fatah or what?
No, sorry, no. I don't have the kind of courage he has, sorry.
You have that kind of intelligence or not?
Also, no, sorry.
I liked him very much because he had the courage to say things as it is. And he was very critical about Indians also, their hypocrisy, their cowardice. That they are like, if aggressive wolf and animals are attacking them, they are ready to destroy them. They behave like ostrich. They behave like as if they are a tendency to contract, and Hindus have become very cowardly. They think that what is the need to take any stand? You can go on compromising, you can become very diplomatic. They will avoid any encounter, they will avoid any fight which has come to their door. They are ready to compromise. And when you are so compromising, then you have to remember what Shakespeare said. A coward dies many times before his death. A valiant never tastes death but once. So if you are a coward, you will die every day. All the time you are compromising. So he was saying that if Pakistan is sending terrorists, you have to give them befitting reply. And after Modi came, things have changed. But it is only because of vision of Modi and his dedication, his devotion. Things are changing. Indians mostly they don't learn any lesson. They will go on making the same mistake again and again and again and again. That's why Einstein said about Indians, they cannot see even 15 minutes ahead. Most of the Indians are like that. They are surrounded all around. There are enemies. They are waiting to devour them. They are waiting to destroy them. Because they think that in Sanatan Dharma, because it has the essence, it is a real thing. If it survives, then these religions, these Abrahamic religions don't have any chance. They are just bogus. Compared to the religion which is born in India, which were born in India, or what Lao Tzu gave, or what Zen masters came to realize, these Abrahamic religion are just kindergarten.
My tribute to Tarek Fatah. I wanted to share some videos with a photo with him, but then I thought maybe he will give up, so I didn't share. He was somewhat like Zorba, Osho's vision. A really real courageous man.
Yes. I like his statement that truth has to be spoken no matter what the consequences.
This is what you heard from me, or you have heard it from him also?
No, heard from you, what you just said just now.
Mm-hmm.
But of course I feel this kind of thing, yes, truth has to be said regardless of the consequence, but sometimes really must also...
But you have not got the courage. You are always compromising. You don't say that. Whenever you have the time to stand, take a stand, you are always a pussycat. When it was time to decide whether to take vaccine or not, you could not speak against your principle.
Yes, Swami.
He had the courage. He was a man of courage. He had to be in the jail in Pakistan because he was standing for things which were anti-establishment, which the government didn't like. So he had to be in jail for, I think, maybe for 2 years or something. He was in jail. Then he had to leave Pakistan. He is regarded in Pakistan as a traitor. So then he went to Saudi Arabia, then from there to Canada. He was citizen of Canada. He was not a citizen of Pakistan. And he wanted to get citizenship of India. He wanted to come to India, but that didn't happen. Now some people who wanted to reach to his daughter because I am there may be many people who are giving him tribute, but I have my own ways. No one will address him as Zorba, so if it reaches to her, that will be good, because of his truthfulness, their life must be little difficult. He was also always on threat. They wanted to kill him, but his daughter has tweeted that now it is our responsibility to take his fight or whatever ahead. So his daughter is also looks like a courageous person. Yesterday I was hearing to one Indian girl, a courageous Muslim girl who is quite she's quite courageous. Her name is Amber Jadi. She said that I tried to make the video. She is always making video. She is a media personality, so she has no. But she said that I tried 3-4 times today, but I could not make. She was crying so much. So when she was making it also, then also, she said, it's very difficult for me to express in words. He loved her as a daughter, so she was very much in a vulnerable state at that time. So I liked her video among all the people who met, though she was not speaking much, but her connection with him was of heart to heart, so that I liked. Tufel Chaturvedi also made a good video. Now there are other, I will see few more. Let me see later on. Among Muslims who are intelligent, he was one of those. I liked him very much because he was very straightforward. He was not a hypocrite. He was quite clear. He was not clouded. So revealing the hypocrisy of Pakistanis, and he was not diplomatic. He will say things very straight. He had the guts to call a spade a fucking spade. So he was one of my favorite. He was not enlightened, but he was a man who had the courage. So he was on the path. So I have a respect for him for that. He was like he had the courage to stand alone. That is one of the greatest courage, when you are not part of the crowd. So how was my tribute?
Very excellent, Swami. Very excellent.
When I remembered him few times, tears were about to come. So if someone still brings tear to my eyes, then that person is very close to my heart. I liked him very much. So anyone who is an authentic man, a real man, I don't care whether he belongs to what organization, what religion. Very sensitive man, I like. They are the real religious people, not those who belongs to some organized religion. And the man I was listening yesterday, his name is Haris Sultan. I will call him Harawa Sultan. That means a defeated king. Sultan is a king. So he was speaking, had a condescending attitude towards Tariq Fateh. And this man has no right to speak on Tariq Fateh. Tariq Fateh is, compared to him, very high. He may be having an illusion that he is a great rebel. But Tariq Fateh is a very refined rebel. He was a rebel, but not a man who fights on street. And whatever he knew about Indian scriptures, he had tremendous respect for that. And this Haris Sultan is just a pygmy in his comparison. But he was quite judgmental about him. I feel this Tariq Fateh is the man who paved the way for all these ex-Muslim, especially in Indian subcontinent, to come out. Those who are the beginners, they need to have more courage. Once they have prepared the way for you, then it becomes easier.